Hi, and welcome to the video. If you're watching this video, then someone you know has invited you to look at this information because you have network marketing experience. You're currently in a company, you're looking for a company, or maybe you're just kind of fed up with the whole thing. Well, the good news is I'm going to go over some information that can completely help you as you're looking at network marketing. Now, some of these shocking headlines like 97% of people fail in MLM, distributors being terminated, MLM companies shutting down, going retail, or just overall just getting rid of their business. Marketing not approved, like people trying to do marketing inside their network marketing company and that marketing just not getting approved. There's so many different headlines. Leaders getting paid, companies doing deals, and it can be kind of crazy out there, and it makes a lot of us wonder what the heck is even going on. And so let me get into this real quick. I'm a 16-year network marketing veteran and a multi-million-dollar earner, and I'm going to reveal today how to select the perfect company. Now, a quick question. How would you feel if you had 100% belief in your company, even the corporate procedures and compensation plan, to know, absolutely know that you are in the right company without any doubts? I don't mean just being fired up. I mean, you are safe, and anyone you ever introduce to your company are safe. The truth is, many people don't reach their potential, their full potential, because they really aren't playing 100%. They're not 100% confident in their company. And we want to help you with this today. Disclaimer. There's a quick disclaimer. I'm currently a top income earner in a network marketing company. Not here to talk about that company in this specific video, but I'm here to open your eyes up to the realities of network marketing. You'll learn some real examples from company policies and procedures, but we'll hide the names of those companies because, we're not going to bust them out like that. But you will also learn some real stories of hurt distributors that will shock you. So it's time to learn some new things and confirm some of your suspicions. Now, real brief about me. I was 12 years in one network marketing company. I was a multiple million-dollar earner over time, multiple six-figure earner for many, many years, good residual. And I started in a new company about 5 years ago, and now I'm doing even better. But since 2003, really, I've been able to earn full-time income in network marketing, multiple six figures. I'm a former Army officer, and I've been around the block a little bit. I know people like Eric Worre. I hang with my good friend Tim Sales. You can see us over there on the right. There's Ray Higdon. I actually have Ray as a coach as well. And I'm a guy who answered an ad back in 2001 and started network marketing part-time while I was a manager at Dell Computer. I trained the guy Simon Chan, who runs MLM Nation back in the day, and I was actually featured on, I believe, show 21. So, I've been around, done it, seen all kinds of things come and go over the years. And, and then after starting a new company the last 5 years, my gosh, when you've been in one company that's like older and you've been doing well in that and you start new, holy smokes, man, you see every kind of thing out there. And so, hopefully I can, give you some of my experience and just point out some things that a lot of people don't really realize. And, because at the end of the day, the reason I signed up in network marketing in the first place is I wanted reliable long-term residual income. Isn't that what you want? So if you're not in the right company, gosh, if you really want reliable long-term residual income, seriously, if that's what you want, if you're not in the right company, you will only be wasting your time, money, attention, reputation, skills, and chances of ever realizing your true success and all your, and really all your dreams. Plus you've got, you won't get freedom and you'll just basically be wasting your time. I see so many people putting efforts into businesses that end up, disappointing them. So after doing this for 16 plus years, I've discovered there's a lot of good, but there is some really bad stuff that can kill your income, like companies changing the rules, comp plan changes, terminations, owners becoming out of touch. And a lot of people just say, well, that's just the way it is. But it doesn't have to be that way. People completely picking the wrong opportunities over and over again. I know people that have been in like 10 companies, and I'm like, what are you doing? But you know what? That's their path. So hopefully in this video, I can talk to you a little bit about some things that can help you understanding this and not really understanding compensation plans. Let's be honest. I started in network marketing, I didn't even know there was a compensation plan. I was like from the Army, as an officer. I worked in corporate. I made a little bit of money, and I started making I didn't make money, not a lot of money right away, but over the years, there's all these different, there's a few different compensation plans, and but a lot of people claim this, that, and the other thing. And, I'm going to kind of shed some light on that. So company name saturation is slowing or killing the opportunity long term. I've lived this. I'm going to talk to you about this. And a lot of people think it's the products that saturate. No way. It's not even close. It's the name of the opportunity. And that's really can become the Achilles heel for you. So these are some of the areas I'm going to talk about. 10 rarely talked about criteria on how to select a company. I know a lot of people have their different criterias. But I'm going to cover some of the policies and procedures. I can't go into all of them, but I picked like 5 that I saw that can come back to haunt you. Payout percentages, confusion. We're going to go over that. False growth, paying leaders to join, how the distributors actually pay for it in the end. Name saturation. Why your company is not Nike, okay? Your company's not Nike, just letting you know. Don't join. Just join because your company is in momentum. Everyone's looking for like some easy thing. That's so crazy. But most companies don't stay in momentum more than not even like a year. Just so if you want to be in something long term, what the heck is going on with that? So does age of the company matter? I hear this so much and so many. It all depends on what company you're in, right? How old it is. You can spin it in all different ways, but age really doesn't even matter. But we'll talk about that. Compliance issues and drawing regulators to your company is no good. And these are big issues that people don't talk about. The culture of your company. What's your company all about? Who's the best to run a company? Which type of company to join? Product, service, big ticket. Let's make some money fast. Technology. What is it? So I'm going to cover these things. So criteria number 1, 5 examples of how policies and procedures can kill all that you built. I've seen this. My gosh. How do policy changes happen? Well, the sick part is it was in the policies all along. Owners become out of touch. And momentum changes. I mean, as things go up and go down, companies consolidate, things of this nature. And what happens is companies end up looking for ways to, increase their profits. So they'll cut costs. A lot of times they'll actually, cut the compensation, et cetera. And they're allowed to do that. Company name saturation, killing the opportunity long term. I really hadn't thought about this till I started a new company about 5 years ago. And I was in one company that was like 25 years old. I joined it when it was around 10 years old. But this can be a big problem because it's not that products get saturated. It's that what happens is not everyone everyone in the world has this product from XYZ company in their house. It doesn't even exist like that. And if it did, that wouldn't be saturation. People would continue to buy the product. It would be a good thing. What happens is the opportunity gets saturated. So think about this. You might have heard of a company like 10, 15 years ago. Does that seem like an opportunity that you would join today? And so doesn't mean it's not a good one. It could be great. But a lot of times people hear, oh, I've already heard about that before. And so, there's a different strategies that can happen. And so, these are the things that end up causing companies to change their policies. And one of the big ones that people don't realize is terminations, all right? And MLM distributor terminations. You build it, the company can take it. You can appeal, but the company is the judge and jury. And you really have no say. And if the company suspends your check, then you most likely have no money to fight the big company in court. Company wins almost every time. Not every time, but majority of the time it happens. I had a guy in my team, one of the, he's actually famous in network marketing now. He was on the verge of getting terminated. I was like, wow, because he did some aggressive marketing. And you know what? I was like, wow, that's my whole, that guy. Yeah, there's a lot of people there, but that could have killed one of my legs. And there's not much I could do about it. So luckily it didn't happen. But how terminations kill your business? The obvious, you don't have your business, right? Can kill off major portion of your downline, which is what I was referring to. Steals your belief, right? If they I've had people have to pay fines. Isn't that great? But, they did some stuff, but they paid a fine, or the company says, kind of clip their wings, right? And so it makes you go, you know what? We were going to terminate you if you did this, blah, blah, blah. Then the person's like, wow, I don't really feel like it's my own business. And everyone's kind of running around scared. People pull back, they withdraw, and it steals their belief. And that ultimately, as you're a leader and as you're building, that's not what you want to have happen. So it causes people to slow or stop, look around at other things. Seen that happen. And policies and procedures, see if this feels like your business, okay? 800. These I just actually took lines from companies, and I just kind of looked at how much they were making roughly. And this is an $850 million a year nutrition MLM network marketing companies. And it says, XYZ company may terminate the associate agreement at any time by giving written notice to the associate. Just think about that, what that means. I mean, what is that? That's pretty wide open, right? They can just basically terminate you when they want to by a written notice. And trust me, even if you're a big leader, they usually write it to you. They don't call you, which is nuts. I've seen that happen. Let me tell you about Lynn. I'd not even joined and I got terminated from my company for just looking. This is the case. I was terminated. Couldn't even have, the other company wasn't even open, but she was on a call, listened about it, and then got a letter that she'd be terminated. Wow, crazy, right? And so $400 million company. When a decision, I put this stuff in big and bold, but when a decision is made to suspend brand partner, such suspension may or may not lead to termination of brand partner's position as so determined by the company in its sole discretion. I mean, there's nobody else to look at it. The decision of the company will be final and subject to no further review. How much does that feel like your own business? And there's more to it. I mean, a $1.2 billion company, a consultant's violation of any of the terminations of the agreement, including any amendments that may be made by the company in its sole discretion, including the involuntary cancellation of his or her consultant agreement. Again, it's like is there a recourse and things? And I know you can probably appeal, but it's pretty tough to do. Compensation plan changes. I hear this a lot. People are building and all of a sudden they change the goalpost, right? They change the score. Like, hey, you thought you were doing this to score this kind of compensation, and now they change it. And it happens a lot in network marketing. And the reason it happens is because, guess what? You signed up for it in the first place. Even the rules I just talked about allow that to happen. So you build it and they change the way you get paid. Compensation plan changes. You build it and they change the pay. So whatever company reserves the right at any time to no longer accept new membership sales or associate agreements from any associate, and to adjust or change any marketing plan and incentive program at any time without prior notice. Isn't that crazy? I've seen people like they're making XYZ number, like let's say they're making a certain amount of money, and then boom, on Monday, the company changes something and their check drops dramatically. They may, add, change, or terminate any service offered by. So like, let's say you're marketing a certain service and the company decides we're not doing that anymore. Well, that would kill your income as well. But just think about it. We can do it without any prior notice. Wow, crazy. All right. Compensation plan changes. And I've been on like the board of, like not the board, but like I was on a company's, like their associate, like whatever, where the reps basically represent, the field and work with the company. And the company actually did some compensation plan things that looked like quote unquote enhancements, but they really weren't. And they didn't even talk to us about it. It was like we found out about it in the audience with our teams. Pretty crazy, right? So this is another one. The application agreement, policies and procedures, and integrated compensation plan are each subject to revision by the company from time to time at its sole discretion, right? The current form of each such document shall govern all aspects of a relationship between the company and its whatever its reps. Okay. So let me stay on this one real quick. And this happens because it's already in your policies. They can change the agreement whenever they want to, which includes the comp plan. And the way that you agree to it is when you cash your commission check, well, then you've agreed to all of these things. And it's crazy. And, you may not even know that, but just by when you get a check each week or month or whatever it is, you agree to it. Companies going retail, that will never happen. Like I hadn't really heard about that, right? Until recently that it happens. Meet John. Here's John. John is a leader, and check it out. So he was hanging out at the company's owner's house in Palm Springs, flies back to Europe. It thinks he's going to set the world on fire. The company's going to be amazing. He jumps on a conference call in the morning, starts working on a Monday morning. Then one of his team members say, "Hey, I'm trying to place an order," and this letter was now on the website. This is like, Dear XYZ family, as you know, we have worked very hard for nearly 4 years to create a network marketing business with the best-in-class products that would provide a genuine opportunity for all of our IBOs, corporate employees, and shareholders. And there's more to it. We recognize this decision will have a significant impact on many of you. Many of you feel passionate about XYZ products and your health. For a limited time, we are providing access to order products at new prices on XYZ.com. Can you imagine? They basically terminated all the distributors, the reps, whatever you want to call them, but you can still buy the products from the company. Whatever. It happens quite a bit. It happens quite a bit. Look at this. I remember this one. North American Power was like rocking, and it's still a company out there, but they terminated their MLM business. I grabbed these things off of Google, right? Effective immediately, independent representatives will be unable to refer new customers or representatives to Thrive or North American Power. Imagine if you're building that. OxyFresh, I know a lot of people love their products, and as a company of 30 years, they closed down their network marketing portion. Crazy. Exclusivity, meaning that you can only be engaged in the business development activity. You cannot be engaged in any business development activity for any other direct sales company. Kind of nuts. Now, we would like people to be, loyal to our company and all of these things, but, it gets pretty crazy and extreme. A $700 million company. You agree that you will not solicit or encourage directly or indirectly any associate or preferred customer to join or work another network marketing or direct sales company. You further agree that, except as otherwise authorized, the company during the non-solicitation period will not introduce, promote, or sell the product, ventures, goods, or services to any associate or preferred customers. So basically, this could get so crazy that you could have your mom as a customer, right? Your mother as a customer, right? And then you say, I'm going to try this other thing. And maybe you're in a nutrition thing or something. And then you want to sell them, I don't know, a travel service. So now you put your mom in as a travel rep or maybe as a customer. That's grounds for being terminated. Unbelievable. And you think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. It happens. It happens. Here's another one. Can I maintain a position in another company? Yes, subject to certain important restrictions. The most important is that you cannot solicit any associate or preferred customer to participate in any other multi-level marketing or network marketing organization. In addition, you may not introduce directly or indirectly other business opportunities, goods, or services to any other associate preferred customer. Certain associates, for example, those who qualify and are awarded reentry positions, are subject to contracts that prohibit active participation in another network marketing company unless they disclosed and approved by the company. And I get some of this, but also it's kind of nuts. I mean, it's just it's pretty overarching, and you just have to think about that. $3.1 billion company. As a distributor with XYZ or higher PIN level, you are reasonably expected to exclusively sell company products, train distributors in your downline organization. Therefore, as a condition to receiving ongoing breakaway compensation on executive levels 3 through 6 in your downline organization, you may not be engaged in any other business development activity at any other direct sales company. And yeah, you just have to look at these things and say, does that make sense to you? Is that a fair deal, right? I don't know. Cross-selling. Coaches are prohibited from selling or promoting any other products or services to individuals who are not personally sponsored by the coach. That makes sense. Some companies allow you to do that. If you've sponsored the person, you can introduce them to other things. And there's other companies that have even, more lenient and modern rules. A lot of the companies in these policy and procedures, they all use the same ones as kind of like a boilerplate of, hey, this is how everyone makes their policies and procedures. We'll follow suit. Rule changes. How you agree and you don't even know it. How? By receiving your commissions. Think about it. If you retired, I had a friend that retired and he didn't know that if he joined another company, because at the time when he signed up in his company, they didn't have those rules. But by commission, by basically receiving his commissions, he agreed to new rules, and it's crazy. So I've already mentioned some of these things, but changes to distributor agreement. XYZ company may amend the distributor agreement in its sole and absolute discretion. And some of these other ones down at the bottom, how it happens. It says distributors' acceptance of bonuses or commissions constitutes acceptance of any and all amendments. So any amendments that happen, like say the company sends out an email, hey, we just changed this, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, whatever. You're not even noticing because you're not even following their emails. Boom. Just by getting your commission check, you accept all their rule changes. Crazy. Some companies have figured out how to keep people with their original agreement, but not very many. I probably pretty much all of them have not. Rule changes. $3 billion company. The company expressly reserves the right to make any modification of the contract upon 30 days notice by publication on the company's website's normal channels of communication with distributors as provided in blah, blah, blah in their chapter or whatever. Any modifications to the contract upon 30-day notice. So this may be boring to you, but I want you to think about it. You wonder why people are like rocking in a company, and all of a sudden, boom, the company's like, they're not in it anymore, or the company's going downhill and leaders are leaving. These things happen, and you got to know this stuff. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. There's more of these things. I could go on more and more. And the XYZ company may amend these policies and procedures at its discretion. Just the list goes on. And meet Sandra. It happened to her. Her company was rocking. I mean, this famous guy owned it, and big wig. And all of a sudden, boom! They said we're no longer going to be selling, being a direct sales company anymore. And overnight, poof, the whole thing was gone. But she agreed to that contract. Nothing. She can't sue them. There's nothing she could do, right? Okay, so criteria number 2, and we're going to move through the rest of these really fast. But payout percentage, I always hear this stuff. We pay 50%. We pay 45%. We pay 50%. Other companies we pay 60%. We pay more than anyone. We pay 50%. And I never understood any of this stuff, to be quite honest, until recently, as I began going into network marketing for the second time. And it says the maximum payout is capped at 60% of total company-wide CV, like commissionable volume or whatever that is for the company. If any week. So anyway, the whole point is here is this company is saying that they pay 60% of total company-wide, volume. Okay. So I want you to think about this. The problem is how this is spun, where it's saying that a company says that they pay 50 or 60% of commissionable volume. They tout that as a higher than any other company. And people go around there, and distributors start saying, we get paid 60%, man. We're better than you. You only get paid 50. However, it is 60% of points, not dollars. And this is a big difference. And this is where you get fooled, all right? Breaking down this quote unquote voodoo math, all right? Paying out 60% of points, not dollars. So first thing is to look at the points given for the products, right? So all companies have, products, and they have different points associated with it, and they kind of like take a median down the middle of all the stuff. Some of them have a little more points to dollars, a little less, etc. So a company product, let's just say a company product X is 60 points for $123. So that is 60 points divided by 123, which is 0.448, 48%. That is called the point volume ratio. So a PV ratio of 48% is what they really have, okay? But then you got to go, they pay 60% of the point value ratio, right? They pay 60% of 48. Then multiply 60 by 0.48, and it's 0.29. And so the company that says they're paying 60%, sometimes they're really paying only like 29, 30%. And this particular company is around 36 with some of their different things. But it's more, as you talk to people, it's more like 30%. So they're touting 60, but it's really around 30. Crazy, right? So when the comp plan says they pay out, company A, they pay out 29% on the dollar, 60% payout is no longer really 60%, it's 29%. That is where people get fooled and run around. And after so long, they're wondering, why aren't they making so much money on their residuals? Because the company just isn't paying out that much. And this is oftentimes what they do. They'll do some different things and pay out people at the top higher. But the overall payout for the people in the organizations really not that much. So paying leaders to join. Criteria number 3. Is that a good idea? Some people say, why? I built a big team. I deserve it. I'm just telling you straight up, I haven't seen a company, and I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen all kinds of companies come and go. My friends are some of the biggest trainers and industry ambassadors. If you pay leaders, you can't buy loyalty. So just go with that, right? But there's lawsuits out there going on. The lawsuit accuses, sales staff of lucrative payments and using information from those, from the company business reports, causing former employees to violate. It's not even employees, it's reps, and violate non-compete agreements. And there's all kinds of craziness going on with this. But I'm just going to tell you straight up. If you can't buy loyalty, and if you pay people to join, all the companies that pay leaders, what are they going to tell their teams? They don't pay everyone to join. And what I've seen, all the companies that pay, they can jump up really fast, and then they always come crashing down. And it's just been one after another. These kind of things get in business for home, and on, like this is Kevin Thompson, MLM attorney, talking about this, MLM special deals, the fraud ends, must end. And I think it is a fraud, not because, like, I wouldn't want that, right? I'd want it to be an honest business. You get started, there isn't a big deal done and all those kind of stuff. It's crazy. You need to really think about that. And it's tempting to get a big payout. Unfortunately, a lot of MLM people are paycheck to paycheck, even the people that make a lot of money. So when they get a big payout, they get someone offering them money, it's very tempting, and I understand that. But just realize that's going to go away eventually. Where the money comes from to pay leaders. Where does the money come from? Simple. And I'm going to show you because I just set you up with like that 29% payout. It comes from the field by having a low. So you think the company has this big cash cow of money. It's not the case necessarily, right? What it is, it comes from having a lower payout overall. And this is me consulting with some of the top compensation plan guys that I was like, well, how do they pay leaders? And the guy's like, well, let me show you how you do it. And this is the #1 compensation plan expert telling me how the companies do it. I was like, oh my gosh. So he goes, let's say a company really pays out 30% on the dollar and another company pays out 50% on the dollar. Well, if sales for the month are 100 million, then the 30% company has 20 million more dollars of profit than they can do whatever they like, including buying leaders. The other company pays that money through the downline, giving a better overall payout percentage. However, the company's paying people to join, and maybe that person can bring a team so it looks bigger and it pumps up their numbers. But is that really what you want? Which one's the better opportunity to you? Just think about that. Are you in this for residual income, or do you want to be in like 10 different companies? All right. The fallout of paying leaders to join. The leaders who built the company without getting paid get pissed off because they are getting deals. Let's just say they brought people into my company and started paying them. I would be completely ticked. One, why didn't I get paid, even though it's not? I mean, like, why are you paying this guy, right? And why is this guy getting to jump up to the top of the company and going past me and all this kind of stuff when I built it legit? Causes issues. The leaders below the main leader don't get the same deal. So they end up ticked off, right? And after the paid to join money runs out, people will notice they are not making as much money as they thought they would be making, right? The 30% payout ain't cutting the bills. I'm just telling you. So they leave for another company. And the drama goes on. All right. So I talked about this earlier. Criteria number 4. Name saturation is not product saturation. And that is the problem, right? Name saturation, not product saturation, is the problem. Oh, yeah, I've heard about this before. No, thanks. I talked about it earlier. Like the movie that has left the town, why companies stop growing. Then they go overseas. Company comes to town, everyone hears about it, and then they say, oh, I heard about that juice thing a couple years ago. And, what you want to do is be able to have multiple brands and things of that nature. That's actually smarter, but a lot of companies haven't thought about that. Name saturation, not product saturation, will kill your company long term, and bad press can hurt a company. I've seen this, right? And it goes back to, should you be publicly traded? Ackman sends warning to Herbalife. I know Herbalife ended up coming out on the other side of this, which is great. My friend actually made a video about this. I encouraged him to do so. I said, man, you got to fight for him. So Tim Sales made his video. It was amazing, right? But could you imagine trying to build Herbalife when, they just Google it and all this garbage goes up? That's why it would be pretty tough in the U.S. The overseas probably doesn't care about this, right? They don't care about this kind of stuff. Mexico or something like this, or overseas, they don't really care about this. But in the U.S., pretty tough to build around this. Not saying you couldn't, you just have to talk to more people. But that's tough for a new person to go through. So that's where the name really gets versus being able to launch something a little bit different, a new angle with brands is kind of a way to do it. I saw it too. And I was in USANA 2007. I was in USANA for like 12 years. Good company, great company in a lot of ways, right? One of the big ones. But I remember we were like rocking, and all of a sudden, boom, they did this stock manipulation. But really, it was this big report. A lot of it was the typical pyramid junk or whatever. But I mean, gosh, they had videos out there. It was rough, man. Like a new person would go and your prospect would like disappear. Like, where'd they go? And they would just Google USANA and come up with all these crazy videos and all these reports. And the person's like, man, I don't want to tie my name to that. So that is rough. So I don't think publicly traded is really a smart move. It sounds good, but it's not that great because they're also going to end up, dealing with these short sellers. They're going to also end up, looking at the shareholders over the reps. I'm telling you, it happens, okay? Criteria. So publicly traded to me is not the best idea. Number 5, don't join a company just because it's in momentum. I think I was sitting in the 6 and 7 figure income deal with Eric Worre, his training. And he says, I think momentum in a company lasts around 9 months, right? I remember, now I started a company brand new. You want to know how many bozos came out of the woodwork when I started? I was like, I've never seen anything like it. I started a company brand new 5 years ago, was one of the first people into the company, just starting building. And it was like, oh man, I want to join and get a position, all this stuff, all this stupid talk. And I was like, man, these people don't want to do anything. They think that they can just get in and make money they don't want to work. And I would tell you, you want to join. You don't want to just jump on the bandwagon. And my advice to you is that you are the momentum. All right. So don't just jump on a company because it's hot, because that's not why you would do network marketing. You want to do it for residuals. Okay. Almost unthinkable unless you know the 10 criteria. That this company was one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest successes, and you would have never thought that they faced foreclosure. They ended up, merging into another company now, being bought over. But that company was rocking, but they did they had issues, and they didn't follow some of these things, and they violated some of the things I'm talking about. And I don't know all the things about it, but I know a little bit, and it would be unthinkable that this stuff would happen, but it does. Okay, and so you really want to be thinking out there and making sure companies aren't violating these 10 things I'm talking about, because it comes back to haunt you. Does the age of a company matter? Entering startup, rule number 1, the 5-year rule. Or lately I've heard don't join it until you're 10. Well, that's done it all depends on who's giving the message. I mean, it really would be, does the company that you're coming together with, that you're getting started with, do they follow these rules, or do they violate them? If they violate them and they're 10 years old, is that still a great company? I don't think so. I mean, I think there could be better. Does a new company have these things in place? That would be a better opportunity. So there's so many criteria. Just because a company's new doesn't mean it's not going to make it, right? And it's funny, as I used to say, the 5-year rule. You want to have a company that's just 5 years old. Well, that was because I was in a company that was older. What did they say? What did the people that say don't join a company till 10? Well, what did the people say when the company was 5 years old? Wait till 10 years? No, of course not. And so you just think about that. Don't just fall into that. I'm not joining a company till 5 years old. Yeah, it sounds like it's a smart move, but is it? Probably, look into the company. So some say 3, 5 years, 10 years. I talked about it. All depends on if they're following these criteria. Criteria number 7, get customers and stay out of legal issues. Okay. Shut down Central, Equinox International settles case with FTC. So many people were kicking butt in Equinox, but what they were doing is really talking to a lot of, and I'm sure they had customers, but it didn't look like it. So, it gets into this thing where they were front loading with big purchases, encouraged to buy in at the managerial level. The vast majority of recruits receive little return. So they got to be really scrutinized for this. And it was emphasis on recruitment versus actually getting a customer. And so same thing with Trek Alliance. I always ask people, I say, hey, is there actually a customer that would buy your service? Because a lot of people just talk business, business, business. I'm like, well, does anyone buy your service or product that's not in the business? If they do, then that's cool, right? Trek Alliance was shut down for similar things back in the day, for selling water filters, cleaning products, nutritional supplements, and beauty aids. It's rough, right? So think about that. Skybiz, right? FTC filed a suit against them, and said that, basically they didn't have, their website was just this thing that really wasn't getting customers, and they were just selling these websites and that kind of stuff, and there, really wasn't a customer, right? Not taking action on warnings. So sometimes companies get warnings by state attorney generals, and sometimes they're legit because of income claims. And this is what happened to Fortune High Tech Marketing. A lot of the people thought they were doing a great job, but then other people were out there making income claims and different things like this. Or maybe some companies, it could be product claims, and they're not heeding. The company's not correcting these things by saying, hey, bringing in the distributors or the reps or whatever and saying, you got to fix this stuff. So think about that, all right? If they're not changing the culture, then it's tough, all right? Simple solution, get real customers. Legitimate network marketing companies exist when the rewards are primarily driven by product sales to ultimate users, meaning customers, and also, your reps are using the products as well, but that the reps have customers, okay? Preferred customer programs are great. Retail sales, have product experience first is another way to go. You want people as a happy customer. That means you got a legit business, okay? Vima, unfortunately, I know they're back at it now, but, this is what happened to them. I mean, primary motivation for distributor purchase should be destination to ultimate users and not qualify for the compensation plan. And so that was tough. And they went through stuff where they were, accused of being an alleged pyramid scheme. Vima Nutrition Company that lures college, and they also didn't heed the rules, warnings from like attorney generals and things that, hey, you guys are out there, getting college kids to quit, getting rich instead of doing a 9-to-5 job, and then like the parents were getting pissed off. All of these things happen, so it just brought more heat on the company, and the company didn't change its culture, and it ultimately cost the company. All right, and I know there's more to all of this, but just think about that stuff. All right. And I know a lot of people loved Vima. I mean, and they still like the products and things. But try building that now, right? FTC has made it clear that it believes that the facts show that Vima operated a recruitment machine that targets college-age students with the promise of wealth, are merely using the system to buy and recruit rather than sell and use. Per the Burn Lounge was another company. The product was incidental to the opportunity. You do not want this, right? You do not want that to happen. Lessons learned. Lessons learned for the future for MLM companies, and for which they should start yesterday. This was from Kevin Thompson. He says, track products to its final destination. Bottom line is that companies should be able to document that products make it on their way to ultimate users and is used. Marketing emphasis should always be on product first and opportunity second. Employ procedures to avoid inventory loading. Employ procedures to mandate guarantee retailing. Do not make claims of wealth, fast wealth, easy money, our surefire systems, nor effectively invite the FTC to inquire into a program based on earnings hype and systems based on distributor purchasing rather than distributor selling and using, right? And I know you could read this, but it's just an emphasis on this stuff. I never was, making a bunch of money. I mean, if you're leading like that kind of pitch, you're probably attracting all the wrong people anyways. And they're saying don't, boldly target demographic markets that FTC might see as vulnerable to hype and abuse. Such groups may be young people or poor populations. Do not play fast and loose with earnings disclosures. To be transparent, always indicate the percentage of new signups who have no earnings, i.e. what percentage of new distributors actually make any money. And you can do that with a really good earnings disclosure statement, okay? Not taking action and warning. Celtech loses false advertising suit, because of product claims. Is your company out there check waiving and income claims? I don't think this is so smart, right? What is this kind of culture promoting? Yes, it's exciting, but yes, this is a company that collapsed. Culture of the company, is that what it's all about? Just making money? I understand that. Or is it all about, are you all product? Are you all women? Are you all men? Are you all one ethnicity, right? What type of people are in the business? Lots of people, but very little income type crowd. Like I've been in rooms where there's like 3,000 people and everyone doesn't have any money. I mean, it's like crazy, right? They got a lot of people in there, but no one's making money and no one has any money to buy anything. Is it all young people? And that's all the culture it is. Well, that's not going to appeal to some of the biggest people, like, that have money. It's like baby boomers. You're not appealing to them. I don't know. Is that smart? Are they all baby boomers? Does the company look really old? Does that attract the younger group? All people of one race, is that good, right? Fast talkers, slick type of people. Is it all women? Is it mostly men? All of these could work, but is that what you want to be a part of, right? Who is the best to run a company? And this is so funny. I hear this all the time, and people are just crazy with their criteria. But ownership, check track record of success, not failures. Former distributor, family run, success in traditional business. Traditional company has a network marketing arm. Famous person owns it. Network marketing corporate staff. Experience, right? Which is best? Former distributor. So our former top-level distributors who start their own companies. Now, this sounds exciting, but I'll be honest. Like I'm a top-level distributor. If I was to start a network marketing company, I mean, that sucker would be out of business in a couple of weeks, I think. I don't even know what the heck I'd be doing, right? And I was an Army officer. I've run things, but my gosh, never run an international business with like shipping and all these things. I mean, are you kidding? I wouldn't even know how to do the shipping. I mean, opening all these things. Distributors don't know that stuff. Yeah, they can get others to help them with it, but they often lack leadership to open internationally or have the experience running a large corporation, right? Come on. You're running a downline. You are, whatever you want to call it, a rep organization or whatever you want to call it and feel good about calling it whatever you want to call it. But that ain't the same thing at all as running a company with like HR and like, lawsuits and all kinds of stuff, right? Usually, you could have like employee lawsuits against each other, right? Sexual harassment. You could have all kinds of things. You're not used to doing that. opening international markets and working with governments and stuff usually good, and the problem is these rep owned type of company, like former reps or former distributor owned type companies, usually good at one or two aspects of the business, mainly in sales and motivation, but not in running day-to-day operations, causing a lot of mismanagement. And it happens. Two, family run, often put into positions because of the name instead of experience. Oh, my son grew up in the business. Really? Did he? What does that mean? He worked in the warehouse and he did some things, he was around you in the office? That doesn't even mean he knows how to sit down and do a presentation, or what a distributor goes through. Favoritism, the favored son goes through the system. I've seen this happen. The old man really built it, but it's the son that's now taking over. Maybe they're not even interested. Maybe they take over and then they say, the heck with all this headache, I'm going to sell out. Happens. It happens. So I don't think family run is the smartest. Do not. And I know a lot of people, it's a family run. It's a family organization. I wouldn't want that. I mean, think about it. What is like a lot of times, what do the family members know about being a chief financial officer, right? Come on. Success in a traditional business. They don't understand the culture and relationships built between the field and the corporate office. I saw this. They see us as employees, right? Tendency to see distributors as employees. They will do marketing that doesn't really matter to helping the distributors. Oh, hey, we're doing this thing in Hollywood. Yeah, great. Does that really help us? And so you just have to look at those things, okay? Traditional company that has a network marketing arm. Competition with traditional company and reps competing with each other, right? Where do I go? Do I go to the little strip mall down here and go to that weight loss thing, or do I do it with the distributor? What's up with that? Like, why do I, is there a competition? Tendency to see distributors as employees. A company has an arm of network marketers and there's a lot going on there. They look at that and go, man, what should we do with that? And, look for ways to make it more profitable, their company. And so they look at all the money that they could be paying these distributors and say, you know what? We could we're big enough. We don't even need to do this anymore. And it happens. Can grow tired of dealing with all the people. North American Power, there's probably a lot to the story, but think about that. It happens. In other words, you're building a network marketing business, but the company that actually owns it doesn't really see you as the focus. That is not good. Don't care what anyone has told you. So if you're in that kind of company, enjoy it, but really keep your eyes wide open. All right. Famous people owns it. Trump Network is dead, right? I mean, Trump came out, put his name to this company, had some other people running it, but he wasn't really running it, but the people that were running it, and it went big pretty quickly. It was doing pretty good, but I don't know. That's a lot to it, but that doesn't mean just because someone famous owns it. Richard Branson fails. Virgin companies that went bust. Virgin V, this company, his direct sales company, went under, right? So famous doesn't really matter. Experience running a network marketing corporation successfully. Look for their track record of success, not one filled with red flags. I see this person, they're starting a new company and they were in another company. I was like, well, they screwed that other one up and now they're starting another one and they screwed that one up. Oh, he's back in the game. Who wants to be back in the game? If you're a losing coach, guess what? You ain't getting hired by a team that wants to win. But network marketing often does this, and they say this guy has all this experience. Yeah, bad experience. Okay, you want to look for experienced corporate leaders with track records of success. They, to me, will make the best owners because they've been in there doing it, right? They understand how to open markets. They understand what distributors go through. They understand those things, and they've been successful. They don't look at, oh, we're going to go under. Oh, you know what? We're going to run things into the ground because they're not used to doing that. They're used to being successful. So I would think that would be the best way to go, okay? Monavie faced foreclosure, well, honestly, their owner had a couple other jack up things. I mean, just think about this. These are how these things go down, and you just want to be, thinking about that. So this is the last one: products, services, technology, big ticket items. What is best? I've heard so many things, especially with the internet. I don't do an MLM anymore, man. I just sell these big tickets, things, and I get it. I understand. But check this out. This one is going to open your eyes. Just don't get mad at me, all right? So how big a ticket item companies came about and why they never last. Fast upfront money. Like, in other words, you can make like 20 grand by selling this education program. Think about it though. Who's really the customer? There isn't one. So if those companies get big, they don't really ever, if they really get big, then they get scrutinized and then they get changed and then they go away. I mean, so there's little to no residual income. And no company has ever lasted doing this ever. There's no big ticket item company that has lasted for like 20 years. They always morph and change. And then all the players that are in those companies just go to the new thingy. And it's happened. It's happening again right now. It's crazy. SEC shuts down Zeke Rewards, calling it $600 million pyramid. I remember Liberty League was like the biggest thing going in town, and everyone's, I'm doing Liberty League, man. I'm not joining. I'm out of your MLM. I'm doing Liberty League, blah, blah, blah. I remember Emerald Passport's the greatest thing in the world, right? It's the big, it's the big, it's the direct sales leader. I mean, obviously, some of these were just articles that people wrote, but people were believing these headlines. Well, that's 2006, 2009. Emerald Passport shuts down and Polaris Group ran. I mean, whatever. So basically, Emerald Group Passport shuts down. LifePath Unlimited, rated top home business. It's shut down. Okay? Come on, big ticket items. They don't last. Services, insurance, phone, electric, internet, etc. Always based on the best price. Doesn't attract the best customer or builder because people are looking for the best price. Think Walmart shoppers, okay? Residuals are usually small, and you will see a lot of it based on recruiting, coded bonuses, these types of things. I know people that have had like $68,000 a month in these types of companies, and their residual is $3,000 because they're getting paid on all these coded bonuses. That stuff's crazy, man. Like, you really need to look at that. Licensing is tougher. Like, if you have to get your insurance license and do all that, there's not a big residual. I was talking to a guy that's been at the top of companies in financial sector, the top of the big ones. And he's like, there's no residual. There's like little to no residual because it's just a grind. Crazy, right? So no motion to the product either. If you go to these type of companies, they don't say, oh my gosh, I saved $20 on my phone bill. It's changed my life. They don't do that, right? It's ridiculous, right? But like, they'll be more like all their emotional stories are about how the company changed their life financially. So it's a little weird and it's a little bit tricky. And, I would say you want emotional stories about a product or service, something that did something for somebody and it was amazing, et cetera. So, no one jumps up saving money on a bill. I kind of covered that kind of jokingly, but, and then do they really control the third party product, right? Because the third party product, they may be like featuring some insurance thing and all of a sudden that goes away and boom, there goes your business. Technology. A lot of these are, one-time sales. Just think of the iPhone 3. I mean, what the heck did that thing even look like? I don't even remember, right? I think I had one. I think I remember because it was the first one I ever had. As is most of us had, right? So, but as technology changes, you do not want to be stuck in technology because it's usually a one-time sale. Too many examples of failures and no examples of big success in a technology network marketing company. I haven't really seen any. Gadgets are not residual, and most likely there isn't a customer buying the products. Apps or system as the product has never worked long term either. I know people are out there doing apps and all this stuff. Man, there's just no customer. I'm sorry. It just really isn't. And they don't get big enough to ever be something. And, it's they may have a subscription service, but prove to me one that's become big. Network marketing meets e-commerce. Whoa, like these kind of like shop to earn. Remember that thing was going so big when I was living in Florida. I was all over the place. How many people do you suppose? So this is one where you'd spend so much money. And so check this out. We actually did the math with one of my friends who's an ambassador in the industry. He said, someone was asking him about it. So how many people do you suppose you will ever make their initial investment back from shopping? Even if you were to make 5% back on your purchases, you'd have to purchase $9,000 of merchandise to even earn back your initial investment of $450. And I'm not even convinced that most people are even making an average of 5%. Unbelievable, okay? Oh, this one was all over the place. And, they did a lot of good job of promotion. Wake Up Now is everywhere. And they do all kinds of stuff, right? And they have all these things, financial software and blah, 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 and all this. And then they were coming under heat. And, so then they started bringing in some products. But it didn't really matter. They were talking about make $6,000 to $10,000 plus monthly as a business owner. Pay less for everything you buy, make money from when you shop, make money when others shop, write off at $11,000 average on your taxes, get bonuses to travel around the world, blah, 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 income this, income that, and blah, blah, blah. And guess what? Shut down Central. All right. Company wasn't run well. Why wasn't it making money? Because there's no one buying this stuff other than the distributors. And the distributors can't really get customers doing these things. And there's just a myriad of things that go on. All right. The residual income difference. There is one, and I've experienced it for over, now 17 years. And I'm telling you, I said 15, 16, but it's like 17 years, almost 17 years now. And consumable products. Maybe that doesn't excite you, but residual income should excite you. Of the top 100 direct sales companies, 94 are product-driven companies. Unique, consumable, demonstratable, and emotional, meaning something happens to someone and they would take the product whether they were in the business or not. FTC, FDA issues here that product claims can go on. Some big companies have been shut down. Products that really, you want to have products that are really unique. Product life cycle and danger of being known for one thing. I'll cover these real quick. I'll cover that. So a company gets known for, let's say, a juice, and that product becomes the name of the company and becomes what the company's all about. And that goes back to that name saturation. So you want to diversify so that you don't just become known for one thing, and you have more brands and more things that can come out. And that is the danger of becoming known for one thing. That could happen because companies don't use a brand strategy. Well, some do. But anyway, so these are some of the things I would have you think about, because there's more margins also. There's less margins in like technology, very small margins. That's why it takes so many people to have any kind of residual, versus there's bigger margins in products. There just is, okay? And that way you can get more residual income. So those are the kind of like the review of the 10 rarely talked about criteria on how to select a company, the policy and procedures, payout confusion, false growth, paying leaders, name saturation, not product saturation, don't just join because a company's in momentum. The age of the company, does it matter? No, it matters if the company's doing these things. Compliance issues, drawing regulators, your company's not good. Culture of the company, who is best to run it? Remember, you want people that have done it, actually run real companies in network marketing, not just a company. And, what kind of company that you want to represent. So think about it. How did your company do? Someone invited you out here. Maybe you're in a company and you're thinking, I'm not sure. The truth is there are a lot of great companies out there, and I hope you are in one. We want to raise public awareness of the bad practices, and hope this has helped you to build it big. And, if someone's invited you to watch this video, get back with them, because I'm 100% serious. What we did when we started a company 5 years ago is we looked at all the problems out there, and everything that I've touched base on here that's negative, we fixed all of those things and even more. So get with that person and learn exactly what we did to create a company that doesn't have all of these issues. Okay, so it's pretty cool stuff. So again, get back with the person who invited you to this video. Enjoyed it. Steve Swartz here. Appreciate you listening to this long video, and I hope I raised something in there that made you aware, to get you thinking so that you can create residual income. And we look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.